Luca, and today I am going to present to you my pitch of a 1 minute horror titled Going Home.
It's not touchscreen,
Again.
no matter how hard you hit.
So anyways, a young lad prepared to finish college suddenly realizes he is being watched by someone. He assumes that his classmates are trying to prank him. But is it a prank? So anyways, how did I come up with this idea and where did my influence and inspiration come from? Well, basically, it came from Halloween, it came from Friday the 13th, Taxi Driver and The Shining, so as you can see.
Perfect.
So, I guess you can say it's like a mix of all three of those films. Particular elements from these films I was inspired by were the point of view shots, like from Friday the 13th, like in the opening when the two teenagers about to get killed by we don't know who yet. The back distance shots, like in a Taxi Driver here, where it's all about just loneliness, where basically the protagonist is a lonely person, and little does he know he's about to get mugged. And we have a psychological tension as well, like in The Shining. And I thought these particular elements were really gonna go ahead because they actually the way I see it, they really realistically fit in with psychological horror. So anyways, I'm gonna go through the plot synopsis. It's pretty much, here's how we've got images down here of how it's gonna go out. So, Act 1, the beginning, right? So, a young lad is preparing to finish college and go home. And as he leaves the classroom and walks out into the corridor, little does he know he's being watched by someone. We don't know who is it though yet. That only us into the middle. So, the middle bit, Act 2. So he's walking towards the elevator. Then he calls for the lift to come, but he stands still, looks ahead straight, and as he looks to his right, he spots someone spying on him from the distance in the corner, and then hides away when spotted. When he notices, he calls out, and when he goes up to the corner to see who it is, he doesn't see anyone. He assumes that his classmates are trying to prank him. So then, when he goes back to the lift and leaves the corridor, he's still being watched by the watcher. Only he doesn't realise that he's being watched. So, that leaves on to the last bit, the Act 3 end. So when the young lad enters the lift, he doesn't realise that he's been watched going in. So then, upon witnessing the protagonist going into the lift, he then quickly marches downstairs to way outside for him to come out the lift. And when inside the lift, he seems calm but irritated, and as he sarcastically declares that his classmates think his classmates are funny. Then suddenly, as the lift stops and the doors open, he prepares to leave, but he stops and looks ahead as the watcher, revealed to be a man in a white mask, charges at him and attacks him off screen. It cuts to black, so we only hear the sounds, but then it cuts back to on the top of the elevator as it opens, and the ending is ambiguous, which leaves both fates unknown. That's the synopsis. So, I've got the whole mise-en-scene, how the story's going to play out. So, first we've got the protagonist getting ready to finish college. I try my best getting the images for my plot structure, but Audible AI isn't really the best, so I try my best. It was pretty difficult, but I tried. So we see him leaving the classroom, going walking down the corridor. Then, I mean, this is a bit more a little further than this shot. So I mean, I'll call this as a point of view shot where we see the stalker watching him, and then we see the protagonist walking towards the elevator. The match cuts to him ringing the lift. Then, when he's ringing for the lift, he looks to his right. Then spots him peeking behind the corner before he hides away. So then it cuts back to him. Then he's looking skeptical, so he goes up to see who it is. But as he looks down the corridor, he sees nothing. This is from his point of view, what he sees. And he looks irritated and thinks that his classmates are trying to prank him. So then it was really hard to find shots, so this is pretty much him leaving the corridor, but he's being watched by the watcher. So then goes back to the lift, calls it, then this is literally the watcher watching him going in the lift, and this is the protagonist in the elevator calling the ground floor. So then this is pretty much him facing the front as the doors close, and then this is the watcher's point of view as he quickly marches downstairs to wait for the protagonist to come up the lift. And that leads us on to the final slide of my mission scene storyboard. So this is from the low angle, him looking ahead, looking all irritated, thinking that his classmates are funny. Then when the lift stops, he tries to get out, but then he still stops and looks ahead and sees him, the masked man, looking ahead, waiting for him. He's all shocked and terrified by what he's witnessed. And then it cuts to black. Then we hear all crashing and fighting off screen. Then the lift closes. Then it cuts back to the lift outside. Only it's focused on the top of the lift, and we only see the lift open, and no sign of either the watcher or the protagonist, which leaves both of their fates unknown. I keep forgetting this is not a touch screen. Right, so in terms of feasibility, we're gonna have to do a lot of preparation for this. That means getting masks for the protagonist, scouting for locations, getting actors to play both the protagonist and the watcher, or the masked man, whatever you want to call it. However, the ambition I have is I have planned it out from my own mind, along with a mix of inspiration from my other works, like mixing it up together in like originality, but I doubt that road to making it realistic as I planned it out to be will be easy, of course, because I mean, not everyone makes something without facing a few problems in the way. So certain particular problems I will possibly face are like locations being used, occupied equipment, time for production running out when unfinished, like when we don't have enough time and it's still not finished, and of course group members unable to attend. When at scheduled times, of course. If any of these problems are to occur, I will try my best to overcome these problems. So like if like locations are being used, we will have to look for other locations, and if equipment's being occupied, of course, I will have to find a way of filming it without the equipment we needed required.
Yeah.
And
we're now down to 10 minutes, so if you can bring it to a conclusion, that'd be great.
I will, and like if like the pieces are being used, I will like re-record dialogue if needed, if it wasn't heard very well, and if it's running out of time, I will write out some scenes and rearrange the story structure, as well as reschedule times if group members are unable to attend the show. All of this to make production on track, to keep production on track ASP.
Okay.
Right, so I think audiences are going to love this film because it's an original vision. I mean, I don't think a lot of people have seen. I mean, people may seem similar, but it's very different compared to other works. It's very original from what I've written and created from my own mind. So with all the point of view shots and the tension rising, I definitely think this will chase audiences forward out of their seats and create a fresh homage to the genre's roots. And that brings it to a conclusion. So thank you all for being here to hear me present my idea for my 1 minute horror project. We've explored some interesting key points in my idea, and I hope you all found it appealing and engageable. I hope this idea moves forward with every small step leading up to a realistic change and a realistic finished product. So, thank you.
Thank you.